All right, what's going on, everybody? Today, I wanted to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is scrubby characters. I want to talk about scrubby characters because, I might know a thing or two about scrubby characters if you really think about it. People consider my main Balrog to be one of the scrubbiest characters in the business. I've dabbled with a few other characters that have been dropped with this label, so I think I come as an expert on scrubby characters. And now, before you go on and start typing into the comments responding to the title of the video, just hear me out first. Let me explain to you my positioning about scrubby characters, because I'm one of you guys, right? I love these scrubby characters. They're so fun to play. I am one of the scrub mains, scrub loyalists, if you will. I wanted to talk about this topic because it was spawned by, of course, a tweet. You use Twitter for all of your FGC content these days. Katana Prime says, I know I'm bad. I know I'm playing Cammy. I know I'm unqualified to make this statement. But as I get cooked by every character, I just feel that Honda players are not actually good at the game. Leave me alone, right? And I love this tweet. I love it. Katana Prime, if you don't know, has been in the FGC for a long time. One of the main competitors in the NRS scene. Has done a lot of work in those games and has been playing Street Fighter V. And he goes to qualify his statement. I like this statement because he qualifies it first. Because he talks about, I know I'm playing Cammy, but I hate playing it against Honda, and I feel like they're not good. And that's pretty interesting because, according to a lot of people, we often call Balrog scrubby. We might call Honda to be pretty scrubby, right? But, Cammy is a very good character in this game. Some might call her scrubby. So why would a Cammy player be calling out Honda? By all metrics, Cammy is the most successful character in the CPT, right? But Honda, you don't see Honda doing work in any CPT. So objectively, Cammy seems to be the better character, right? However, I think this is where the terminology is very important. So you noticed here that he said Honda is scrubby, or I'm talking about scrubbiness of a character. I had a video recently about being carried by characters, and I think you got to differentiate those two terms and the connotation that they supply. When you fight a Cammy player, right? Cammy here, all of her special moves, or pretty much all of her special moves, are unsafe on block. She has low life. Her damage isn't as high. So how could she be better than Honda here, right? Honda has all the health. He's one of the highest health characters in the game. He has a command grab. All his special moves are either safe or plus on block for the most part. So how can you look at Honda, call him scrubby, and Cammy not scrubby, right? Like, how does it all make sense? Why is Cammy actually the better character? Cammy is a character who is top tier, but relies on very simple fundamental aspects of the game. She relies on footsies. Yes, footsies. She relies on understanding Oki situations, getting knocked down into pressure, the throw game, and anti-airing, and general basic Street Fighter V core concepts. She is playing a really strong version of the core concept of Street Fighter V plus the air game, right? That's what takes her kind of to the next level, is the air approaches where she can jump, empty jump, dive kick, adjust her angles, and get in over and over, right? That's what makes Cammy so top tier. But she's still playing a very common core element of the game. Honda, on the other hand, this guy right here, he's playing his own game, especially when you're newer to the game and you're not as familiar with how the matchup works. Honda, if you do not know the Honda matchup, you will find out real quick, because Honda forces you to play his game. Cammy, you're playing Street Fighter V. If you run into a Cammy, you're playing Street Fighter V. You run into Honda, you're not playing Street Fighter V anymore. You're playing the Honda matchup. And if you do not know this matchup, you're done for. This is something that I've been thinking about for a while now, especially Juna. Shout out to Juna. He had a quote that I really like to steal pretty much. He said, there's a time for solving problems and a time for causing problems. And especially at lower levels where you're trying to learn all the rules of the game and trying to figure things out, Honda is a character who causes problems. You might know a few other characters like that, in some other franchises, who causes problems. These characters generally are easier to pick up and play because their offensive utility is very strong at first and requires the opponent to understand how to stop them. A Honda player sits around, mashes hands, is plus, and is allowed to steal turns over and over with EX headbutt, but it's up to the defending player to have the strategy to stop it. If you do not know how to specifically stop Honda, how to specifically stop Mei, you will get steamrolled no matter how much more you know about the game than the player. So it no longer becomes who's better at the game, it becomes who knows the matchup to stop them from causing problems. And that's what scrubby characters are all about. Now, is Mei that scrubby? I don't know. Is she that good? Probably not. Honda's not that good in the grand scheme of things. I think he's decent in Street Fighter V, but you can lose to a low-level Honda player when you are generally better overall at the game because you don't know the matchup. When you show up to the matchup against Honda, the Honda player doesn't have to know what's going on, you do. And that's always going to be true when you play these kind of scrubby characters, right? Scrubby characters are fine. You know, there's no problem with scrubby characters. And when I say scrubby characters, I'm essentially saying characters that are easy to pick up and play that usually require more emphasis on the opponent to understand the matchup to slow things down. You know, and that's why I love this tweet, because, you know, Katana's playing the best character in the game. He's playing Cammy. He should have no right to complain. He should be winning free. He should be dominating every match he enters because he's playing the best character, right? Well, when you're learning a new game and you're trying to figure things out, if you're trying to play a structured game plan against these types of characters, things can go wrong. They can go really wrong. I mean, you can run into the matchup and then the matchup could end up looking something like this. You could show up and then you could run into a Honda, and here I am, I'm playing my Rose, my low tier Rose against Honda, and things can go wrong. It could look like this. What? Outplayed. That could be you. Honda can sit there and do whatever he wants. I mean, I was in a bad situation. My life was too low. I needed to V reversal to get my turn back. That's the matchup. Honda forces you to V reversal. That's kind of the secret to it all. But he gets to sit there and dominate it because I'm forced to play Honda's game. And that's how it works. And, you know, sometimes it just becomes about figuring out how to shut down the scrubbiness. So, I mean, if you run into a Mei player, you know, sometimes you just need to hit them with exactly what they hit you with, right? Outplayed, right? Sometimes you get outplayed. Sometimes you figure out how to counter the scrubbiness with your own scrubbiness. See, sometimes that's how you have to do it. So scrubby characters, they exist. It's true. These characters at low to mid level, you could call scrubby, and people can get wins by spamming certain moves that are difficult for newer players to figure out, or experienced players don't know the matchup yet, but it's fine. It's not that big a deal. It's a big difference between being scrubby and carried. So people can use carried for like top tier characters. Like I play Soul Bad Guy. I would say that's a character that carries. But, you know, you look at the Meis, you look at the Balrogs, you look at the Hondas, those can be characters that people consider scrubby because if people don't know the matchup, you get to steamroll. And sometimes if you use those characters, you don't have to know how to beat the opponent's characters. You just got to know how to run your offense and cause problems for them. So those characters, they're fine. It's only a problem when they become top tier, right? If they become way too top tier, that's when I think it becomes an issue. But I think most games usually balance them out. There are usually problems and knowledge checks for lower level players, and then once you get past a certain point, you know how to shut down the gimmicks and move on. So if you're having trouble with Honda playing top tier, if you're having trouble with Mei playing a top tier as well, listen, there's a lot of people right there with you. You just got to learn the matchups. It'll get better. Don't harass people for playing these characters. They're fun to play. I mean, try them yourself, right? I mean, I'm not going to play Mei. You won't catch me slipping. But I've definitely dabbled with Honda. I main Balrog. They're fun characters, so there's definitely no harm in having these characters in the game, and they're just, you know, they're part of the process. Sometimes you run into a character where people just mash all day and they're tough to stop, and until you figure out the matchup, might be a little frustrating. So that's all I got for this video. Just wanted to talk about that. You know, we can all commiserate when dealing with these characters, but at the end of the day, if we just hit the lab, it'll get better. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Peace, everybody.